G'day humanoid life forms, Chewy here, bringing you a short video about good businesses versus bad businesses. In my last video I had a few comments about what was going on with my bike. It had a noise like a helicopter sound, as Webb described it, and that was probably the best adjective I could think of to describe the sound as well. It was a sound on the front wheel, and that was a result of having the front tyre changed about a week ago. 1 week ago I got the bike back. New front tyre, new brake pads, new chain and sprocket on the bike, and I've got to say, oh man, the bike feels absolutely fantastic. It's the best it's ever felt since I've owned it. It's been 2 years since I've been on this bike now, and I'm loving it more and more actually. Anyway, back to the front wheel noise. I had a suspicion that it had something to do with the speedo cable or a clip or something like that. I took it back to the business that put the front wheel on, did the chain and sprocket. It's a motorcycle mechanic shop called Riding Rubber in Arndell Park. When I took the bike back there, Jason, the owner of the place, straight away had a look at it with one of his mechanics. It took them a little while. They were hunting around to try and find the source of this noise, and he figured it out finally, that it was the tyre just touching the bracket on the front fender, the front mudguard, just touching it. He showed me that the rim had a couple of dents in it, which would have created a slight imbalance in the tyre. Nothing that I can actually feel on the bike. The front tyre is balanced. It's just the tiniest of little contacts between the front tyre and the bracket. He asked to leave it there overnight so he could fix it the next day, which I surely agreed to. When I went back the next day, I said, "How'd you go?" Jason said, "Yeah mate, all fixed, all fine. We had the wrong front tyre on it." Now, I can understand why he had put the wrong front tyre on it, because the tyre he took off was a 70 profile, so he put a 70 profile back on. But it turns out, after he did a little bit of research and homework, that this bike is meant to have a 60 profile tyre on it. So there's nothing you could really do to fix the problem besides change the front tyre and put a 60 profile front tyre on, which is exactly what he did. Anyway, I took my wallet out at the counter expecting to pay something for some labour, and he just said, "No mate, no charge for that one, that was my mistake, my problem, my fault." So I replaced it at no cost, so I got a brand new front tyre out of it. Not that the old front tyre that he put on originally had done many kilometres. It had probably done 200 kilometres maximum. He said, "No, I'll flog this off cheap to someone else, make my money back on that tyre." What a fantastic businessman to own it and to say, "Look at that fantastic sunset," and to say, "No, that was my mistake. I should have put the correct front tyre on it in the first place." Now I completely understand that the wrong front tyre was taken off the bike, so he put the wrong front tyre back onto the bike. What an absolute champion. I've got to say, every bit of work I've ever had done at Arndell Park, at Riding Rubber, has been top notch. The service has been exemplary. He's even saved me on the side of the road, picked me up, didn't charge me anything. All he charged me for was a battery replacement. This isn't an advertisement for the company, for the business, but it is. If you live in the west of Sydney and you want a good, reliable mechanic, get yourself down to Riding Rubber at Arndell Park. I'll put the phone number right here in the screen right now. There is the phone number for Riding Rubber, 02 9621 4118. Next to Jojo Moto and Ian Landsman. Tell Jason what's going on the phone. He's an honest family man, top business, young bloke, doing the best he can. The bike is just humming along. It is so smooth right now. Absolutely loving it. So there you go, that's my story about my front tyre. And there was one person who commented in the section saying exactly what the problem might have been, and he was 100% correct. So kudos to you all, you're very intelligent people. I appreciate everyone with their comments and advice and ideas, because I really have limited mechanical knowledge. Alright, that's pretty much it. A little bit of lane filtering to end the video. As always, humanoid life forms, until next time, be good to each other. Chewie out. Peace. 100%ers. Should I keep the bike? Should I just upgrade the suspension and the brakes, which is pretty much all this bike needs now to be tip-top? Or do I get something bigger? Just know that I am a big human. I'm 6'3" and a bit. I weigh 115 or so kilos. I say or so because sometimes I get up to 120. Sometimes I get down to about 105. Is it worth upgrading this bike? Which insurance is cheap, running costs are cheap. There's a little bit of maintenance involved because it's an old bike, 21 years old. It's comfortable enough. But do I get something bigger and newer? That's what I'm looking at. Is it worth doing the suspension and brakes on this? Just knowing that my wife wants to get on the back and have rides all the time. And when I do it on this bike in the current condition, it doesn't exactly do it comfortably. I get a little bit of bottoming out. A little bit of bottoming out over speed bumps, etc. Alright, that's all. See ya. I just turned it back on to show you some more of Blacktownus borealis. The beautiful sunset colours we get in the sky sometimes here in the western suburbs of Sydney. I don't know if it has to do with the blue mountains over that way,